Do you know that constantly looking for signs can actually delay your manifestation? That's because when you seek signs, you're telling your subconscious that your desire hasn't happened yet, and that's the exact opposite of Neville Goddard's teachings. Neville didn't just teach manifestation, he lived it. And one of his most profound lessons was this: stop looking for signs. Instead, become the sign. When you fully embody the version of yourself who already has what you want, the world will shift to match your new state of being. In this video, we'll break down why obsessing over signs is a trap, and more importantly, how to step into your power and become the walking proof of your desires. Stay with me till the very end because the last point is a game changer. It could completely transform how you manifest forever. Let's get started. Assuming the feeling of your wish already fulfilled isn't just some passive daydreaming exercise. It's an act of creation, a deliberate shift in consciousness where you step into the reality you desire before the outer world gives you permission to do so. Most people wait for proof before they believe. They scan their environment, looking for breadcrumbs, for whispers of confirmation that things are moving in their favor. And when they don't see it, doubt creeps in, followed by frustration, followed by the slow decay of the dream itself. But that's the thing, proof doesn't come first. It follows. Your world is a mirror, reflecting back whatever you are persistently assuming to be true. If you keep waiting for external signs to validate your desires, you'll always be at the mercy of circumstances, bouncing between hope and disappointment like a leaf caught in the wind. The real power is in deciding, in feeling, in making it real within yourself first. And that's where assumption comes in. You don't just think about what you want. You don't just visualize it as a possibility. You become it. Right now. Not later. Not when things start aligning. Now. This isn't about faking it or playing pretend. It's deeper than that. It's about embodying the reality you want so completely that your entire state of being changes. Your energy shifts. Your thoughts recalibrate. Your reactions, your habits, your very essence begins resonating at the frequency of the life you desire. And when that happens, the world around you has no choice but to conform. So what does that feel like? It's the difference between longing and knowing. Between hoping and being. You don't wish for it anymore, you rest in it. You carry yourself differently, speak differently, move through the day with a quiet confidence that doesn't need validation. Because in your inner world, it's already done. The mind will resist. It will throw doubts at you, whispering that you're just lying to yourself, that you need to be realistic. That's just old programming, the remnants of years spent believing in limitation. But you don't have to listen. You can override it, again and again, until the new state becomes natural. You see, most people live as observers. They react to what is. They let their moods and beliefs be dictated by what they see in front of them. But that's living backwards. Creation starts within. Your emotions, your inner conversations, the things you assume without question, these are the architects of your reality. So stop waiting. Stop searching the world for proof. Stop needing something outside of you to tell you it's working. Assume the feeling now. Not timidly, not half-heartedly, but with full conviction. Breathe in the certainty. Walk in it. Live from it. And when doubt tries to creep in, smile at it like an old acquaintance you've outgrown. Because once you master this, once you truly inhabit the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you won't need signs anymore. You won't chase after them like a beggar looking for scraps of reassurance. You'll become the sign. The world will bend to reflect the inner shift you've already made. You've been conditioned to look for proof before believing. It's almost automatic, this constant scanning of the world for signals, omens, some kind of cosmic nod that whispers, yes, it's happening. But here's the thing, as long as you rely on signs, you're admitting, on some level, that you don't truly believe yet. Because if you did, why would you need confirmation? Think about it. When you absolutely know something is true, do you keep checking for reassurance? No. You move with certainty. You don't second guess. You don't seek permission from the universe to believe in what's already yours. That's the trap of looking for signs. It places you in a state of waiting. A state of not yet. A state of separation from the very thing you desire. And when you're in that state, what are you actually affirming? Lack. Absence. Distance. You think you're affirming your wish, but really, you're reinforcing that it's missing. The mind loves this game. It will tell you, just one little sign. Just something small to keep me going. But that one little sign turns into another, and before you know it, your entire belief system hinges on whether or not reality is playing along. And when it doesn't, doubt floods in. Frustration builds. You start questioning everything. Maybe it's not working. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. And just like that, you've handed over your power to a world that is merely reflecting your state of being. The world is not here to convince you. It's here to reflect you. This is why Neville Goddard insisted that you become the sign. Not chase after them. Not beg the universe for validation like a gambler looking for a winning streak. No. You step into the version of you that already knows, already is, already has. And that means dropping the habit of constantly checking for progress. It means silencing the urge to refresh reality like a web page, hoping something new has loaded. It means training yourself to feel the certainty without needing a single thing outside of you to change first. At first, this might feel like walking blindfolded. Like stepping out into the unknown with nothing to hold on to. The mind will rebel. It will insist on seeing proof. But that's exactly where transformation happens, when you hold the feeling of your wish fulfilled even when the world gives you nothing. You have to learn to enjoy that space of seeming nothingness. The quiet before the manifestation. The stretch of time where your only evidence is the conviction inside you. Because that is where the magic happens. That is where you rewrite reality from the inside out. When you drop the need for signs, something wild happens. The world starts mirroring your new certainty. Not because you were desperately searching, but because you finally stopped chasing and just became. Suddenly, things shift. The external world rearranges itself to match the inner state you've chosen. But by then, you won't even be looking for proof. You won't need it. You'll already know. So let go. Stop checking. Stop measuring. Stop waiting. Drop the obsession with signs and be the sign. The moment you do, reality will have no choice but to reflect your decision. Persistence. That's the key. Not effort, not struggle, not frantic action, just persistence in the assumption that you already are the person you desire to be. Not will be. Not might become. But are. Right now. Most people dabble. They step into the state of their wish fulfilled for a moment, maybe a few hours, maybe even a day. Then, like clockwork, doubt creeps in, old patterns resurface, and they slip back into their default state, the one that says, not yet. Not me. Not now. And so, nothing changes. Because the truth is, transformation doesn't come from a single burst of belief. It comes from staying there. Living there. Breathing there. Again and again. No matter what the world says. No matter what circumstances look like. No matter how long it takes. And this is where most people stumble. They assume the state once, expect instant confirmation from reality, and when nothing happens, they panic. They waver. They wonder if they're doing it wrong. But that's the test. That's where most quit, not realizing that the only thing they needed to do was hold the line. See, the world bends to match what you persist in being. It has no choice. It's a mirror, nothing more. And a mirror doesn't change instantly, it reflects the consistent image you present to it. If you keep switching between two different states, one of certainty, one of doubt, what does the mirror do? It gives you a scrambled reflection. Some good days, some bad days, a little movement here, a little stagnation there. But nothing solid. Nothing lasting. So, what does it actually mean to persist in the consciousness of being the person you want to be? It means making that state your new home. Not a place you visit, but the place you live. It means waking up with the quiet confidence that you are that person, not hoping, not wishing, not waiting for proof. Just knowing. It means thinking the thoughts that this version of you would think. Reacting as they would react. Carrying yourself as they would carry themselves. Not forcing it, not pretending, but naturally sinking into that new rhythm until it feels like second nature. It means refusing to entertain the old version of yourself. When doubts arise, you don't wrestle with them, you dismiss them. When circumstances contradict your assumption, you don't collapse, you remain unmoved. Because you know the truth, the world hasn't caught up yet, but it will. And when the mind tries to pull you back into old habits, when it whispers, nothing's changing, you don't engage. You don't negotiate. You don't waver. You stand firm. You remind yourself, I am already this person. The world is just taking its time catching up. Persistence isn't about force. It's about steadiness. It's about showing up as this new version of yourself over and over again until it's no longer a conscious effort, it just is. And once you reach that point, the world shifts. Not because you chased, not because you struggled, but because you became. You lived it. You embodied it. And reality had no choice but to bow in response. Your inner world is the blueprint. The external? Just the printout. But here's where most people get stuck. They keep trying to change the printout without ever touching the blueprint. They poke, prod, push, and fight with reality, thinking if they just do enough, something will shift. But all they're doing is wrestling with reflections, moving shadows around instead of touching the light source itself. Neville Goddard made it crystal clear, the world outside of you is nothing but an echo of what's happening inside. Your thoughts, your assumptions, your state of being, it's all creating, constantly, whether you're aware of it or not. And once you truly grasp this, once it clicks, everything changes. Because suddenly, you stop blaming. You stop waiting. You stop searching for some external fix, some magical force to swoop in and rearrange your life for you. Instead, you go straight to the source. You turn inward. You get deliberate. And that's where real power lies. Most people believe reality happens to them. They think circumstances are random, that luck determines outcomes, that they're at the mercy of forces they can't control. But that's the illusion. The real game is being played behind the scenes, in the unseen world of your own consciousness. Your state of being isn't just a mood. It's a command. A signal sent out into the fabric of reality, shaping, forming, attracting, repelling. The energy you consistently occupy becomes the energy that solidifies around you. And here's the kicker, you can't fake it. You can't kind of believe. You can't try to manipulate reality with forced positivity while deep down, you still hold on to doubt. The world doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to what you are. So, what are you broadcasting? What silent instructions are you giving to life, day in and day out? Because every assumption, every dominant thought, every habitual feeling, it's all being reflected back. Not immediately. Not always in the way you expect. But inevitably. And that's why trying to fix the external world first is like repainting a cracked mirror instead of fixing your own expression. It doesn't work. It never has. If you want to see change, you have to be the change first. You have to decide who you are, assume it fully, live from that state, before anything outside of you shifts. You have to carry yourself as if, think as if, move through the world as if your desired reality is already solid. Because in doing so, it becomes solid. That's the law. And yes, the mind will fight back. It will try to keep you locked in old patterns, pointing to proof that things are the same. It will tell you that you need to be realistic, that nothing is changing. But that's just the delay, the time lag between the new assumption and its inevitable reflection. Don't fall for it. Hold the inner shift. Let it become your natural state. Stay there, unmoved, no matter what the outer world screams. Because the second you stop reacting to what is and start persisting in what you know, reality bends. It has no choice. It's just following orders. And those orders? They come from you. There comes a point where you stop hoping. Stop wishing. Stop waiting. Instead, you become. Not in some forced, mechanical way. Not in a fake it till you make it kind of way. But in a way so deep, so undeniable, that your very presence announces your reality before a single word leaves your lips. This is the essence of Neville Goddard's teachings. Embody your desire so fully that you are the proof. Not someone trying to believe. Not someone waiting for validation. But the living, breathing manifestation of the thing itself. Most people want their desire to come to them. They want signs, clues, gentle nudges from the universe telling them it's on its way. But that's a passive stance. That's the stance of someone who is separate from their desire. And separation is the very thing that keeps it at arm's length. To collapse that gap, you have to step into the state where there is no gap. No longing. No reaching. No questioning. Just being. What does that look like? It looks like moving through the world as if there's nothing left to wait for. It looks like assuming, without hesitation, that what you desire is already yours, not because you hope it is, but because you know it is. It looks like walking with the quiet certainty of someone who doesn't need proof, because they are the proof. And this isn't about arrogance. It's not about forcing yourself into a mindset that doesn't feel natural. It's about shifting from wanting to having, from seeking to being, from asking to knowing. The mind will resist. It will throw questions at you. But how can I be certain? What if I'm wrong? Ignore it. Certainty isn't something you wait for, it's something you decide on. You choose it, moment by moment, until it becomes second nature. Until it's no longer a performance but an effortless, natural state. And when you hold this state long enough, something strange happens. The world starts to mirror it back. People treat you differently. Circumstances shift. Opportunities appear. Not because you forced anything, but because you aligned with it so completely that reality had no choice but to follow. This is why Neville said, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption. He didn't say assume it sometimes. He didn't say assume it until you get tired of waiting. He said persist. Live in it. Own it. Make it so real inside you that the outer world has no choice but to comply. When you embody your desire this deeply, you don't need signs anymore. You stop scanning for them. You stop seeking reassurance. You stop needing reality to play along before you allow yourself to believe. Because belief isn't the after effect, it's the cause. You want to manifest something? Become it. Right now. Fully. Without hesitation. Without second guessing. Without waiting for the world to catch up. And when you do that, the world will catch up. Because it always does. It always reflects back the truth you hold as unshakable. So stop looking for signs. Stop waiting for proof. Be the proof. When you do, everything else will take care of itself. The moment you stop looking for signs and start becoming the sign, your reality shifts. Neville Goddard taught that the world is simply a reflection of your inner state, so instead of waiting for confirmation, embody the wish fulfilled. If this message resonated with you, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Drop a comment below and let me know what's one thing you're choosing to embody today. Remember, you are the operate power. Live as if it's already done, and soon, the world will reflect it back to you. See you in the next one.